Oh, the lovely CBC threw a hissy fit. Quite a good one yesterday. You take a look at the official CBC Twitter account. You're going to notice something incredibly hilarious. Now, they picked a fight with Elon Musk because Elon, if you're unaware of this stuff, and did you hear he bought Twitter? I know, but he's been going around to the different public broadcasters that different countries have. About a week ago or a week and change ago, he added the government-funded media tag to NPR, and they weren't happy, and they were like, "We're taking our ball and we're going home." And it's like, you guys are government funded. You get a certain percentage of funding from the federal government. Like, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. But then as soon as the CBC ended up getting their own specialized government funded media tag, well, they threw a gigantic hissy fit. Now, it originally was just your rank and file government funded one, but as you can see there, it's got the 69% because, listen, the original crux of the argument, we'll get into some of the semantics as well, but the original was, to Elon and Twitter's understanding, they were funded to the tune of about 70% from the federal government. Well, it's not quite that high. It's about 65 point some odd percent. Okay, so it's not that high. But CBC were in a back and forth on that one, and they said, no, it's not that high. It's less than 70%. And Elon, in his infinite the shit postery, decided, okay, we'll just put 69% government-funded media. I don't know what else you want. But I think that's accurate. As somebody who lives in Canada and knows that the CBC has been producing nothing but garbage comedy outside of, Red Green, the early days of Royal Canadian Air Farce, like this hour has 22 minutes, has always been kind of cringe to begin with, but outside of some of that stuff, haven't really done anything except for just Liberal Party propaganda forever, for as long. Oh, they used to have Hockey Night in Canada. Outside of that, they don't really offer anything resembling unbiased, simple reporting as much as they would like you to believe, because here was their "we're leaving" statement. They tweeted this out from their Radio Canada page, which I don't know why. They operate a whole bunch of useless little affiliate channels, and this thing is still just spinning like a slot machine because it's getting roasted by everybody, but it's kind of hilarious. Our journalism is impartial and independent. It's like, okay, but you're still funded. You still haven't taken away from the crux of the argument that you guys are funded by the government, but it's not, and you're lying on the way out the door. So again, nobody's going to miss you. To suggest otherwise is untrue. Don't you dare question the authorities. Shut up. Listen to the experts, you fucking bitches. That's why we are pausing our activities on Twitter. Yeah, okay, just like CBC was pausing their activities on Twitter, and then they came back a few days later. It's like, is anybody really going to notice? Like, I'm pretty sure that I've used, CBC for a couple of different things, and a bunch of other people have pointed out their biased headlines. A lot of their opinion journals all about, oh, I experienced racism from my cubicle. Here's a link to my Patreon. Just like, shut up. Nobody fucking cares. But then they went on another screed afterwards, which is kind of hilarious as well. And then they just immediately owned themselves with this first one. Okay, so Twitter's own policy defines government-funded media as cases where the government may have varying degrees of government involvement over editorial conduct. You know what's funny about that? I actually read this, so I know specifically what's in there. And when an account ends up getting designated government accounts, it would be more appropriate, state-affiliated media accounts. State-affiliated media is defined as outlets where the state exercises control over editorial content through financial resources. You kind of left that part out. Again, 65% of your budget comes from the federal government. Direct or indirect political pressures or. So it's not a complete blanket statement. You guys are lying on your way out the door. What the fuck are you doing? Same thing with government-funded media is defined as outlets that the government provides some or all of the outlets' funding and may have varying degrees of government involvement over editorial conduct. I'm not saying how much, not saying that it's pervasive, but given the fact that you guys are government-funded media, ta-da, it's true. Go cry. Nobody will miss you. Nobody watches you. Like, Christ almighty. Like I said, they produce Canadian content. Nobody watches this shit. Like, I named 3 different shows, and that shit was from way back in the 90s. No, if you get a show and you say that it's on CBC, nobody notices. It is the most desolate place where you could possibly hope to get put on in Canada. It's even worse than a public broadcaster, for Christ's sakes. You would be more likely to get results if you got a show on PBS. Like, for Christ's sakes, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Dress Up ended up running on PBS, and they were far more successful. But CBC rage quits Twitter after Elon Musk accurately labels them government-funded media. Post-millennials got the skinny on this. CBC Radio has decided to pause its use of Twitter following the labeling of its main account as government-funded media by a social media platform. The decision comes after Twitter applied the same tag to the NPR, National Public Radio. CBC's media relations director, Leon Mar, released a statement on Monday afternoon stating that Twitter can be a tool for journalists to communicate with Canadians. Yeah, but they don't, because before anybody could purchase a blue check mark, they thought it was a mark of pride, and it was a mark of superiority. We will not communicate with us journalist class. We will not communicate with the plebs. We will tell you what you need to know. And now, because it's become more of a decentralized platform where, hey man, your air of legitimacy is a simple $7 away. It's almost like you're finding out in real time who provides value to their audience and who doesn't. Like, yo, you can peek the CBC's like YouTube account or anything like that, anywhere where they have to put out content, 0 results, even though they get preferential treatment because they're one of the authoritative sources, especially for Canada. Same with CTV, CP24, all of the different ones, all of the different government-funded outlets from up here in Canada. You could apply, if Twitter was being really spicy about this stuff, they could apply the exact same designation on CTV, Global News as well. It's all funded by the government to different tunes. I'm footing the bill for the stuff that's telling me I'm terrible for just being a straight white dude. Sucks to suck, I guess. But yes. Oh, but allowing the broadcaster's independence to be falsely described undermines the work they do. There's nothing false about it. It's totally 1000% accurate. The broadcaster is pausing its activities on corporate Twitter accounts and all CBC Radio Canada News related accounts. Well, nobody's going to miss you. Maher also emailed the Canadian press saying that Twitter had not consulted the public broadcaster before applying the label. No, they cut out the middleman, and then they went and addressed the Canadian citizenry directly by just calling you guys government-funded hacks. It's like there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. CBC had said, this is the most Canadian shit that they could possibly do, huh? We sent a strongly worded letter to Twitter asking the company to re-examine the designation, which led to Elon Musk going, okay, not 70, 69%. Sold. Twitter defines government-funded media as outlets where the government provides some or all of the outlets' funding and may have varying degrees of government involvement over editorial conduct or content. We just went straight to the source on that one, and it goes to show that, yeah, CBC, once again, lying. They're liars. CBC Radio is publicly funded through a parliamentary appropriation. Yeah, 65%. That is voted upon by all members of parliament. And yeah, and a big reason that you guys have that 65% is because the NDP wanted to fund you at about 60%. And then Justin Trudeau came over and said 65. And guess who ended up winning the election? Ta-da! Its editorial independence is protected in law and Broadcasting Act, and we said in our statement from last week, in addition, our journalism is independent and subject to our journalistic standards and practices. Yeah, we see the quality of the output that you guys have done and haven't really had anything to praise you about, so whatever. As well as an independent complaints process through the ombudsman. A lot of people have already taken that apart, and that's far too technical for what I actually care about. And the ombudsman, yeah, again, it's all just put in place by the federal government. So, yeah, the federal government tells us that we're impartial and independent, and then they also sign our paychecks, so just shut the fuck up, no more criticism. But it's hilarious. They're getting their panties all in a bunch because of this absolutely hilarious. At the end of the day, that's what this is, right? It's petty, it's funny, And Elon Musk is a total G for doing it, but why aren't they getting their panties in a knot over this as well? Because Glenn Greenwald points out that it's a simple fact that the CBC gets a Canadian government funding and they're embarrassed by it. They should reject it. Yeah, but then they wouldn't be able to keep the doors open and the lights on, because it's shit. If they had to rely on their own products in order to exist, well, it would fucking fail right on the face of it. Google has similar labels on BBC, NPR, oh, and CBC as well. Yeah, you can peek all of this stuff. NPR is an American public broadcasting service. And then you have CBC, CBC directly on the video addressing this shit. And look at that, okay? 843 views. I know it was only posted 22 minutes ago, but you have a 3.26 million subscriber channel. 800 views in the first 22 minutes. Bruh, what are you even doing? Why even run social media if that's all you can get with an account that size? It's dead, but that's all you get from all of these public broadcasters. But CBC Radio Canada is a Canadian public broadcaster service, but they're still operating on YouTube. That all seems fine. The exact same way that you have with BBC News. Yeah, BBC is a British public broadcasting service, but it's selective outrage. Selective outrage. And speaking of who's outraged on this one, we got that mop-headed fun guy. Oh, Twitter's also made some other updates as well, where it's totally all right to refer to somebody by their sexual designation. So if a guy's a guy, you can call a guy, and if a girl's a girl, you can call a girl a girl. We're getting so close. We're getting so close to running back Bundle of Sticks and British cigarettes. Oh, I can't wait! It's not like I'm, jonesing to do it to anybody in particular. It's just, hey man, it's a fun word to say. It's something we can say on Rumble every Sunday when I stream exclusively over there. I swear to God, I'll get the technical glitches all ironed out. But we have a little clip here from Justin Trudeau, who got his panties in a bit of a wad over CBC being accurately labeled as his media outreach project to publicly indoctrinate the Canadians. But hey, joke's on you, nobody actually watches this shit. Justin Trudeau isn't too happy that Twitter labeled CBC government-funded media. What did he have to say specifically?
I think it says a lot about the Conservative Party of Canada.
Oh, right, because this was all predicated. Just run it back just a little bit. Pierre Polly Pocket wanted CBC to be designated as government-funded media, and Elon was like, good idea.
They're choosing to constantly attack independent media organizations.
Okay, now do Rebel News, because CBC sued Rebel News during the last election cycle. Funny.
Journalists who are working hard to keep Canadians informed and...
Yeah, by informing them about the importance of gender-affirming care, you fucking butchers.
Support our democracy.
Our democracy.
CBC Radio-Canada...
Oh, shut up.
Serves right across the country.
No, it doesn't.
Delivers local news and...
Not good news, but it does deliver something, if you can call it news, and if it can pass as news, I guess, but it's not impartial. And if you can't deliver impartial news, you have outlived what you were designed to do. Maybe you did in the past. Highly unlikely.
Local content in many regions of the country.
Okay. Oh, hey, we don't have any eggs at the store. All right, more to you at the sports desk. Who the shit? Who actually cares?
That, yes, has been challenged over the past years. But the idea of adding to that challenges and laying on by attacking this Canadian institution.
Attacking or accuracy, or just requiring accuracy, defining appropriately. Come on.
Attacking the culture and local content that is so important to so many Canadians.
Dude, he's more vociferous in his defense for the CBC than he is for his apology to the Freedom Convoy protesters that he had trampled by his Stasi that took to the street. Oh, wait, just kidding. He didn't apologize to them at all.
Really indicates the values and the approach that Mr. Poilievre is putting forward.
Accuracy?
I think it is telling.
Oh, okay.
That in order to attack this institution that is important for many...
Don't you dare question... That's the authority. Why are you doing... Stop that.
Many Canadians. He runs to American billionaires, the tech giants that they continue to...
Excuse me, he's an African American, you fucking bigot.
Defend in committee and in their approach on our legislation to make tech giants pay their fair share.
Ugh, what a hasn't been lifted yet.
Conservatives are always there to defend them. So when they're trying to attack a foundational Canadian institution, the fact that he has to run to American billionaires for support to attack Canadians says a lot about Mr. Poilievre and his values.
You know what that tells me right there? He is scared about losing control of the narrative. How is this an attack? How is a little line of clarification on your name tag somehow an attack? You're funded by the government. You are the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. You are funded by the government. Everybody knows that's what it is. But now that you pierce the veil when it comes to obfuscation of information that you were so happy to have from the CBC, now all of a sudden it's appropriate to start lashing out irrationally. Oh, kind of sounds like a little scared kid wondering if people are starting to wake up, if they start to, I don't know, dig a little bit deeper. Hopefully it inspires something, because I know it inspired a couple of laughs out of me. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.